President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail systems.
It's official. It's completely official. Tulsi Gabbard is under FBI investigation for killing a cop on national television. I wasn't comedic enough to come up with that. One of my subscribers came up with it, but it is funny as all hell because Kamala Harris, who is a cop, got wrecked on national television. Kamala Harris needed to respond to that. And she, a prosecutor, perfectly within her own right, on that debate stage, could have responded to it. She could not respond to it. Because the fact of the matter is everything else that Tulsi Gabbard said there was absolutely, completely, 100% true. And when confronted with it, the only thing she could say is, I am proud of my job. That person who's on that debate stage said they were proud of her job, who when confronted about all of these issues, one more ghastly than the next. So ghastly, in fact, that the audience audibly groaned. She did that? She did that? Yes, she did all of those things. One more ghastly than the next. And if I let this video clip play, what you will find is that Tulsi Gabbard goes back to the point that she kept a guy languishing in death row when she had evidence that the guy was innocent. That, in and of itself, should disqualify you from running for office for the president just on the issue of integrity and ethics alone. That person who confronted with her record, who couldn't say anything on that debate stage when confronted with her record, waits until after the debate to go behind and smear Tulsi Gabbard. Talk about spineless. Welcome to the soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content and you find yourself coming back to this channel often, please consider liking this video, sharing this video, of course, only if you actually like the video. And please, you can always support this content through PayPal or Patreon. We like to say even $1 helps because it's true. It's hard to know what videos are going to be demonetized from the standpoint of YouTube. So at this point, this content is brought to you by you. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do so. Yeah, Kamala Harris got wrecked. Kamala Harris got wrecked. In fact, if you go to Twitter right now, and if you go into the little box where you leave comments, and in that little box, you type in hashtag Kamala Harris destroyed. I put in 2 letters and look at this. It's trending. Kamala Harris destroyed is trending, or Kamala destroyed trending. Both of those are trending. In fact, they're trending more than Kamala 2020. That gives you some indication of how wrecked Kamala Harris got. She had no defense. She was defenseless. She was, she just got roughed up on national television in front of a live American audience. And she, who claims herself as a prosecutor and a tough person when she was going after Joe Biden, had a glass jaw. That didn't stop her, however. And just so we're clear, she had the opportunity to respond to Tulsi Gabbard. This was her response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position.
Tulsi, that's not an answer. She hit you with 5 or 6 things that were ghastly, one more grotesque than the next. And your answer to that is, I'm proud of the job that I did as prosecutor. Why are you proud of any of those things that Tulsi Gabbard announced? You had to answer something. I mean, you have to answer some of those things at the very least, if nothing else, despite of how ghastly all that stuff is. At the very least, you need to answer for keeping a guy in death row. And by the way, Tulsi was so hard on that point that Tulsi, after she gave this, I'm proud of my work, Tulsi went back to that issue. You kept a man on death row who was innocent. You knew he was innocent. And the judge had to force you to give up that information. And the best thing you can say is, I'm proud of my job. Why are you proud of that? Why are you proud of that? Why is anybody proud of that? Why would you want, even if as your job as a prosecutor, you put people in prison, fair enough. But at the point where you have evidence to exonerate the individual, I got to be honest, this is the worst aspect of what prosecutors do. They know the person is innocent. They have evidence to show the person is innocent. And they would still push to keep the guy in jail. Because if they sleep at night knowing that they got innocent people in prison, maybe it corrupts their sleep. It should corrupt your sleep. And God, Tulsi Gabbard in this moment was doing God's work. You're exposed. You were utterly exposed. And you had no answer for being exposed. And like I said, Tulsi went back to this point. Look at this. Look at this. Just so you know what I'm talking about.
Make a difference and an impact in these people's lives. You did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that.
There is no excuse for that. There is literally no excuse for that. And the fact that I know there's no excuse for that is because when Kamala Harris got the opportunity to respond to that, she had no excuse for that. Meaning, don't take my word for it. Take Kamala Harris's word for it. Because she is being face to face. This is being put to her. And she has no answer other than, I'm proud of the job that I did. The question is, why are you proud of the job that you did when all of those things were put to you? And all of those things were grotesque. I mean, by the way, she didn't even get to the truancy thing. The laughing, the giggling, while she's talking about a case of a homeless mother that she is threatening with putting in prison because that homeless mother can't keep her kids in school. As if her kids being in school is the highest priority of that mom who doesn't have a goddamn home. Kamala Harris is recounting the story as a success and is giggling as she's recounting the story. Tulsi didn't even get to that one. The other items were grotesque enough for her to make her point that you are not qualified to be president of the United States on an ethical level. Now, you could say presidents are not ethical, fair enough, but I would say to you that at the point where you're exposed for it, that's something different. It's not so much that I think presidents are ethical. Take that off the table for the moment. It's the fact that as prosecutor, you kept people in prison. And is that the quantity of a person who you want as president, especially when you know that in advance? When you know it in advance. This coward who had the opportunity to deal with Tulsi Gabbard face to face, who chose not to deal with Tulsi Gabbard face to face, she chose to go on CNN afterwards and say this.
Did you expect that from Tulsi Gabbard? Had you had interaction about that in the past, and how do you think it went?
Well, I mean, listen, this is going to sound immodest, but I'm obviously a top-tier candidate, and so I did expect that I would be on the stage and take hits tonight because there are a lot of people that are trying to make the stage for the next debate.
Yeah, for a lot of them, it's do or die.
Well, yeah, and especially when people are at 0 or 1% or whatever she might be at. And so I did expect that I might take hits tonight.
Just so we're clear, Tulsi Gabbard could be at 0.0003%. And fact of the matter is, that has nothing to do with whether or not what she said was true. Everything she said on that debate stage was true. He's asking you whether you expected to take hits. All of these candidates, of course, are going to expect to take some level of hits, so that question is utter nonsense. The question, God, these guys are horrible at their jobs. The question that you really need to ask Kamala Harris is what she said true? Now, the answer to that question, you already know. But any question that you ask these people, usually you already know the answer to the question. It's kind of like a lawyer thing. Is what she said true? That question leads you into better questions. The question that you ask, did you expect to take hits, is absurd. Just by definition, you're on a debate stage. Hits are just part of the process. I guess I'm making this point that it's a horrible question. The better question is what she said true? Because that leads you into allowing her to defend what was said and giving her a second opportunity to do so when she didn't take the opportunity the first time around. But okay, Cooper, let's go with your bad question.
But, listen, I think that this coming from someone who has been an apologist for an individual, Assad, who has murdered the people of his country like cockroaches. She who has embraced and been an apologist for him in a way that she refuses to call him a war criminal.
Why didn't you say it on the debate stage? Right? Why didn't you say that there? I mean, you were literally, I want to say mano a mano, but you are right here, face to face. It's just you and her. There are other people on the debate stage, but CNN, just like when you were in high school or middle school and there was a fight or there was a conflict and everybody else just kind of, everybody else backs away. It's your world. You and her. Speak your piece. She said you did ghastly things in your job. Defend yourself. Speak your piece. You're given your space. But you don't. And you wait until you get to this moment where it's just you and horrible reporter Anderson Cooper. And Anderson gives you space and you just go on a smear campaign. I know you think this rehabilitates you, but it doesn't. It actually makes you look worse. Because what it looks like is when you have the opportunity to speak your piece, you didn't or you couldn't. And then you wait until after the fact to just go on a slew of smears. You could have gave those smears on that debate stage. When you hit Joe Biden, what did Joe Biden do? Joe Biden hit you back. You didn't. Joe Biden could have also looked at it as, this woman is like number 4 or 5. She has no chance. He didn't do that. He gave you a certain degree of respect that the argument that you were making to him was something that he needed to deal with. In your case, you're trying to be dismissive of something because everything she said was true. And instead of dealing with the information or the stuff that she said to you, to turn around and wait until she's out the building and on her way home and that she can't say anything back to you while she's on the road to smear her behind her back. This says more about you, miss, than it does about her. And this is kind of sad. Let's let her finish her smear campaign.
I can only take what she says in her opinion so seriously. And so I'm prepared to move on.
You mad, bro? You mad, bro? Is that what that is? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro?
Some of the toughest critique
You mad, bro? Glass jaw. Glass jaw Kamala. Kamala Harris destroyed. I'm sorry. This is sad. And if you're a Kamala Harris fan and you just saw your candidate get absolutely, completely dismantled, you have to ask questions about what's wrong with your candidate that she couldn't respond to the things that were being put to her. If you notice, none of it was lies. None of it was bullshit. All of it was true. She had the opportunity to say something about it while she was on a debate stage. Not only did she choose not to say anything about it, when Tulsi Gabbard hit her again with it. Ghastly! You kept a man in prison when you knew that the man was innocent. And it took the judge to force you to give that information to let that man free. You kept people in prison so they can fight fires on 8 cents a day because the state of California needed to save money. This stuff is grotesque. You put 1,500, thousands of people in prison for pot, ruin their lives. And then when they asked you about it on the Breakfast Club, you got into a giggling fit. You went into a giggling fit. You laughed at a homeless mother and threatened her with prosecution because she couldn't keep her kids in prison. Again, a homeless mother. Kamala Harris's record is ghastly. And there are things that Kamala Harris should answer for. And when presented with that on the debate stage, it is telling, extraordinarily so, that she had no capacity to deal with what was being put to her. But instead, slimy, spineless. What does she do? She wait until the other person runs and leaves. She wait until the person leaves. She turned to Anderson Cooper. Is she out of the building? Is she out the building? You can't see this, but somebody said Tulsi's name and Kamala was... I thought she was still here. Get that woman off me. God, this is brutal, man. She got wrecked. I'm going to go back to this. I'm sorry. Watching this clip brings me joy in a way that it probably shouldn't, but it does. I wish I was a better person than that. Or is it 15, 20? She got wrecked. Woman to woman. On debate stage. I'm speaking my piece to you. This is the problem. This is my problem with you. This is why I say you weren't fit to be commander-in-chief. And what do you do? Nothing. Just get wrecked. Somebody said Kamala. Somebody said Tulsi. Kamala Harris. What? She's still here? You told me she wasn't here, Anderson. You told me she wasn't here, Cooper. You told me she wasn't here. The woman's a lunatic. Get her off me, guy.
Confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate, you called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail systems.
No answer. None. But what she can do is wait till she's in the post debate and she can check with Cooper to make sure that Tulsi is out of the building. Is she out the building? She's out the building. Okay. Now I can talk. And then she can slander her behind her back. That's what she can do. That's exactly what she can do. This proves Kamala would lose to Trump. She has a glass jaw, Laura. Yeah, she has a glass jaw. Capone Jones, they're not going to let Tulsi end the next debate. Well, it depends. She has to get, as long as she hits her thing, she can do it. Black Sabbath, just let a Star Trek Picard ad play out on your live stream. I can't wait. Also, I love watching Tulsi smash Kamala. Yes, I love that too. Laura, Mountain Girl pal. Tulsi vanquishing foes with a flaming sword of truth. Yeah, she's like... in all of the best movies, after they vanquish their person, the other person falls, but they turn their back because they had no fear of the person at that point. Checkmate Kamala. Yeah, checkmate indeed. Checkmate indeed. Checkmate indeed. And by the way, they're slandering her. They're slandering her. Look at this. Look at this. I want to show you something. So if you go on to Twitter right now, a new conspiracy theory has come up on Tulsi Gabbard smashing Kamala Harris. You heard what Kamala said. Oh, she's a Putin puppet. She's a Putin puppet. Now, that has nothing to do with everything that she said about you that you couldn't answer about. But okay, let's talk about her. If you go onto Twitter, you see people like this. Here's a real clear example of Russian disinformation happening in real time. A hashtag created and promoted by Russia Today against Kamala Harris and supported by Gabbard, who is an apologist for your Putin puppet Bashar al-Assad. This is a sign that Harris is seen as a threat. No, it's not. It's not, really. It's not. It's not. It's not. She's not a threat. She got dismantled. Glass jaw. That was Kamala Harris. That was her. That what happened to her. That's what happened to her. She got dismantled. You can say that Tulsi Gabbard is 0.2% in the polls. Fair enough, but that 0.2% was able to eat you alive, like a live bomb. She took you apart. She took you apart. And you had no answers. You had no answers. None whatsoever. But now they're going to slander her on Twitter, saying, oh, she's a Putin puppet. It's disinformation. That's nonsense. And it goes further. Look at this. Look at this. CNN and Twitter. Kamala Harris brings up Tulsi Gabbard's record with Assad regime. Behind her back. Yes, behind her back. But think about everything that took place in the debate. Everything you just saw. You saw her get absolutely, completely dismantled on national television live on a debate stage and had no answers for 5 or 6 ghastly, utterly grotesque, monstrous items. No answer. She waited till after the debate to slander her. And the framing that is put on this is Tulsi Gabbard is a Putin puppet. She brings it up. But Tulsi Gabbard is always called that. The more interesting part to this, if you're really going to talk about it, has more to do with Harris getting dismantled. Framing. They choose. In this case, they chose the framing on this of the least interesting. Because Tulsi Gabbard is always called the Putin puppet. She's always called an Assad apologist. Those things are always taking place. But now they've constructed a conspiracy theory around it that because Harris got destroyed, dismantled, taken apart, defenseless, bullied, pushed around, incapable of defending herself, because that happened, now they're saying it's a Putin plan. Kamala Harris is not a threat. After that debate, Kamala Harris is not a threat. I may be shown to be wrong on this. All things are possible. But what you just saw was the epitome of cowardice. I'm going to talk shit to you after you leave. There's a Dolomite thing. Have you ever, I don't know if you guys know who Dolomite is. Dolomite is, he's part of the black exploitation era. He's, way down in the jungle deep. The lion stepped on the signified monkey feet. He's that guy. And there's a part in that where it's too much. I can cut the video. It's not that big of a deal. It's way down in the jungle deep. The lion stepped on the signified monkey's feet. The monkey said, "Motherfucker, can't you see? You're standing on my goddamn feet." The monkey lived in the jungle in an old oak tree, bullshitting the lion every day of the week. And every day before that sun went down, the lion would kick his ass all through the jungle town. But the monkey got wise and started using his wit. He said, "I'm gonna put a stop to this old ass kicking shit." So that night before the very next day, the monkey ran to the lion, said, "Oh, Mr. Lion, there's a big bad motherfucker coming your way. And he's somebody that you don't know. He just broke loose from Ringling Brothers' show." I don't remember the entire thing, but essentially, the monkey gets the lion to get in a fight with an elephant who whoops his ass. And then the monkey, after the lion gets his ass kicked, stands in the top of the tree and talks shit to the lion. After the lion gets her ass kicked, she stands on the treetop talking shit about the lion. I'm sorry. The monkeys talk shit about the lion. That's what's taking place here. The monkey is talking shit about the lion. I'll leave it here. I think there is one more that I miss. The white suit was a banger. The white suit was nice. Also, she had like, God, this is going to sound sexist. But I'm a guy, so it's what it is. That little bead of sweat right here looks awesome. And I think it's because as she's going in on her, there's an intensity about this. I guess Tulsi I still say she should have smiled. A smile would have made it like, I got you. Like it honestly, I know that sounds like a small thing, but imagine this moment for a bit. And when Kamala Harris starts talking, Tulsi Gabbard just smiles. What does that communicate? It communicates, I got you. Because I've asked you a bunch of stuff, and nothing in your answer answers what I just said. In fact, she should even maybe bring up the point that I understand that you're proud of this, but I don't know why you should be proud of any of this. But you're on a debate stage, and you've pre-planned it. And so sometimes it's hard to interject new information as something you pre-planned, meaning you're not really responding to the person. You're responding from the standpoint of what you were conditioning yourself in your debate stage. I hope you understand my difference. You're on a radio show. You know you're going to be debating a person. You plan on what to say within the context because you know that person is going to respond in a particular way. You hit the person with that information. The person says something. You're responding not to the person, but you're just repeating what you had on your debate thing. I'm saying a little bit to inject in this is, I understand you're proud of this, but why are you proud of this? But again, that's something you have to think of on the fly while you're in the middle of the thing. She did amazing. Kamala Harris got crushed. And the epitome of cowardice. This is the epitome of cowardice. And now they're saying she's somehow pushed by the Russians. It's utterly sad. Black Sabbath, if she was president, she'd be Babraham Lincoln. Babraham Lincoln, that's funny. Yeah, she's really good, man. Tulsi Gabbard did really good. Shout out to her. Let's see. Focus Farm Arabians? Smiling would have made it about her instead of the horrible things that Kamala Harris did. There was nothing to smile about. No, massively disagree with you. Having a smile at the end of it is not making it about her. It's getting to the point of what I said was right. And she has no response. This is a debate. This is a political situation. This is a casting. This is optics. All of those things play into what you're saying. It might have looked that way to you, and you may be thinking about that now, like, oh, what the thing? I'm telling you, it would have came across as if I got her because she had her. Money Train James, do the Kamala Russian bots face tomorrow? The Kamala. I mean, look, it's a lot of these guys. They're coming up with conspiracy theories saying that she's somehow a Russian bot. It's astonishing. She gets crushed on stage, and then they run a story talking about she's a Russian bot. It's nonsense. All right, I'm going to end this here because this one wasn't meant to be long. I just wanted to point to, the cowardice associated with going behind the woman's back and talking about her once the woman leaves and you know that she's nowhere near you. And also the conspiracy theory that's being wrapped up in this, that her being crushed somehow is some kind of Russian bot stuff. I leave it here. Like, share. You can always support the PayPal or Patreon. And good job, Tulsi. You did God's work. Thanks all.